what happened was it shifted. In the 90s, we were like a fat cat. And then all of a sudden, the producers knocked the ladder out from under us. Our pay got dropped, and it had to build back up. And so that was a sad time, but I do understand that. I think the problem was that, when it comes to the contract, the union that I was in at the time, SEG, before SAG, the union at the time that I was in, SEG, was at the time to me was a fat cat. They got all the things that they wanted. I mean, we used to have night premiums and stuff like that. A lot of the other unions didn't have. And I always thought that if we would have given up some of those things to match the other guilds or union, I think we would have been around a little longer. But that didn't happen, and then the contract changed. The producer said no, and we couldn't strike, because they were just bringing non-union, which they did. Because of that, they split it where they started allowing non-union workers to come in, and the union. We used to get like 65 union people for a TV show. Then I dropped it like to 20, and that included stand-in. So it was a big chunk that was taken out, and it slowed up working. So it couldn't work as much as on shows a lot, because a lot of times we could do the same show and come back, and sometimes you just put your back to the camera. They didn't know who you were, because one actor is supposed to be in New York, and you could be in that scene. We shot everything in Los Angeles, and then the other actor was in somewhere else, but in the same show. And because I had a friend of mine who was a cop. He was a henchman on Hunter, and he stood up on Hunter, and then they cut to the police station, and he's in the police station with his back to the camera, because we were so good back then that we could make things work. You couldn't tell that we were the same person in the same scene. But yeah, back in the 90s, after White Man Can't Jump, that's when everything went downhill for us.
Don't call me Corey Baker, call me Marc Copage, 'cause I'm not Julia's son, not anymore. Don't call me Corey Baker, call me Marc Copage, 'cause I'm not Julia's son like I was before.